one of the Chinese characteristics is to assimilate. You can find this statement in university lectures, for example. I have on YouTube, I can send it to you. It clearly states, a army lecturer states that Han China's main character is to assimilate. We assimilate the good races and keep them, and we kill the bad ones, eradicate them. This is what they say. Now, if you look at the official Chinese document and the Chinese propaganda, they say there are 56 minority ethnic groups in China. But if you look at now, they're all gone, except Uyghurs, Tibetans, and some Mongols. The rest have been completely assimilated or eradicated. So our problem started right after the Communist China occupied our homeland in 1949. They tried various tactics to assimilate the Uyghur people, but they were not successful. Basically, the two big factors is our culture. Uyghur culture is very attractive, and also Uyghur people have a very deep root on it. Second one is the religion. Because of those two factors, the Chinese government has failed to assimilate the Uyghur people. So in 2014, Xi Jinping put out a master plan to eradicate the Uyghur people. 2014. If you remember, Xi Jinping came to power in 2012, and he worked for 2 years planning everything. You can find a university PhD student dissertation about how to solve Uyghur problems. He basically adapted some of the measures, describe it in this research, and put out a plan. The plan is kill 1/3 of the Uyghur population, detain 1/3 of the Uyghur population, and they convert the remaining 1/3 into automatons. Automatons are machines built like humans. So that basically people speak Chinese and acts without any resistance, basically receive orders. This is the master plan. I got this plan from an official in the central government of China through a middleman. It was very secretive. It's almost not written anywhere. It's verbal, but that was the plan. Now, if you look at everything else since then, you can understand this whole process. Right now, the Chinese government intensified this eradication process in 2017. In 2017, 1 year alone, they detained 800,000 Uyghur people. I got all this information from a high official in Xinjiang government. So after that, they continue to detain people. You might have heard here and there many aspects of that. Like they had 48 reasons to detain people. It's very simple. If you read Quran, you got detained. If you pray, you got detained. If you went abroad once in your life, you got detained. If you have relatives abroad, you got detained. In my case, I went back home in 2006, 7 and 9, 3 years. The young people knew me a lot. Say because my background and my work, I work at NASA, I do space telescopes, and the young people knows me. When I go back in those years, a lot of people came to meet with me. We just spoke, sometimes small gathering with the government permission. But meeting with me and communicating with me also became one of the crimes, to be detained. So in those 3 years, I estimate I met about 3,000 students, university students. They all got arrested, disappeared. So this is the situation. And now, just about two weeks ago, I got some numbers also from a government official. The latest number is, since 2017, the Chinese government have detained 5.6 million Uyghurs. 5.6 million Uyghurs. And they are still in jails and concentration camp. Among them, 1.8 million were transferred from camps to jails. China had a very rapid process converting, transferring people from camps to jails. Basically gives them jail sentences very arbitrarily. This person read Quran 5 years. This person prays five times a day, 7 years. This person went to Turkey 10 years. This kind of, they had a lookup table to transfer people from camps to prisons. So 1.8 million people transferred to prisons. In addition, 2.1 million Uyghurs were transferred from East Turkestan to prisons in Han provinces, altogether 19 provinces. So the number is very big, and since 2017, more than 800,000 Uyghur people have been killed or died. The situation in prison and concentration camps are very bad. Recently, one government official came abroad and told my friend, and my friend asked him, what does the situation look like in Xinjiang now? The Chinese calls it Xinjiang now. And he said, imagine a hell and times 100, multiplied by 100. It is as bad as that one. So the hell times 100. So that's the situation. And I don't know if you noticed or not, recently RFA published some photos and some secret information that in Aksu prefecture, there are a cremation center between two camps. I have been telling this that China is killing the Uyghurs in large numbers in a distributed way. They don't take out 1,000 people into a field and shoot them and bury them. They don't do that. They just make it so hard to keep alive, and people are dying at home, dying in prison, dying in camps. And there's cremation centers. If you can Google it's cremation centers, cremation facilities in Xinjiang, and see what you see. And it is so horrible. So the number I got so far is more than 800,000 Uyghur people have been killed since 2017. And as you know, China stopped Uyghurs' natural growth completely through birth control, sterilization. All the Uyghur females in concentration camps were given some kind of shots or medicines so that they don't have a period anymore. They stopped menopause, even as young as 18 years, girls. So no more Uyghurs are born now. It stopped completely. And they are stopping it, and in one hand, and on the other hand, they are killing the people. Just yesterday, I got some information that it is virtually impossible right now to go to hospital and see a doctor for Uyghur people. A couple of months ago, one Uyghur who lives abroad, whose mother went into a hospital in Rimchi, told me that nurses there told her mother that the government has an order not to cure Uyghur patients, let them die. So it is so hard to get admitted to hospital right now. Even if you got admitted, basically they just get your money, but they don't give you the right treatment to cure your illness. So the Uyghur people are dying a lot, by a very large number. Because there's nobody on the ground from the international community. China doesn't allow any foreigners in East Turkestan. They even kicked out Pakistani students from Urumqi. And they don't allow foreigners there. They don't allow cameras. All the cameras are forbidden in East Turkestan. Nobody can take pictures about Uyghur people. So the situation is so bad, but the international community don't know about that. And it's getting worse and worse. We are heading to that numbers. The number I just quoted, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. There are about 20 million Uyghurs by our count. The Chinese government said recently, by the end of 2018, there were about 12 million Uyghurs. But the population number of the minorities is also a top secret in China, state secret. They don't give out the real number. Just like everything else, China lies about everything else. Pompeo just pointed out recently, when it comes to China, distrust and verify. It's the same situation. There is a video from a retired Army general in the US. He gave a presentation somewhere. He mentions he linked to the CIA, and he says there are 20 million Uyghurs in Xinjiang. So our population 20 million. So if you look at one third, we are talking about 7 million. On September 23rd, 2018, Al Jazeera TV had an interview with Nuri Turkel, one lawyer in the US, and another person, Victor Gao. He's the vice chairman of a Chinese think tank. Also, he was a translator to Deng Xiaoping when Deng Xiaoping visited the US in 1970s. He said in the TV, I still have the YouTube video, that altogether there are 6 or 7 million Uyghurs. He said this in September 2018. So China already planned to keep only like a 6 or 7 million Uyghurs, get rid of the rest. That is the reality. The unfortunate situation is, if you look at most of the Western media, they still say more than 1 million Uyghurs have been detained. That's not true. That number was true in January of 2018. There's an article on that one. 800,000 to 1 million Uyghurs were detained, but the people still using the same number. The size of the concentration camps doubled, tripled since then, and China is still building new camps, new prisons right now, and they're still detaining new people. I got information recently. Everywhere they're detaining new people, and it's very hard to make up the quota. The government is issuing quota to each police stations, police unit to detain how many people, and they are having a hard time to find those people because they are all gone, especially in cities, towns, villages. All the big or small cities is empty now. This is the current situation, and because lack of reporters on the ground, and the UN or other the international institutions didn't send any observer or investigator, and China is carrying out their plan, their master plan. Recently, I learned the CCP regime had 3 plans: Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and they tried Plan A and succeeded. So they didn't need to try Plan B and C. And about a month ago, the Xi Jinping held a Xinjiang meeting in Beijing, and he said there that all the policies put in place in Xinjiang are correct, and we will pursue it forever. So people think there is an international pressure built up right now against the Chinese regime, but it is not working. And they just declared to the world that what we are doing is right, and we will continue. Meaning what they're doing in Xinjiang is right. They will continue the same policy. And that's the situation.
Thanks so much for listening. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast and to our mailing list. And don't forget, my book, Brexit, The Establishment Civil War, is now available for pre-order on Amazon. You'll find the link in the description below. Until next time, thanks so much for listening.